heart that hurts. I want to spend my life mending broken people. I want to spend my life mending broken people. Hello and welcome to 3ABN Today. Thank you for taking the time to tune in to 3ABN's flagship program, and I'm so glad that you've joined us for a very informative program. My name is John Lomacang, and I have with me my better half.
Well, I say you're my better half.
Okay. And this is my wife, Angela. Good to have you here, honey.
I'm excited about this program.
Yes, and you'll know in just a moment why she's excited about the program. We're talking about missions today, and so many of you may think of missions as something that can only be done on large budgets and large scales and many personnel. But today our guests are going to let you know that missions is something that can be done. You just need to have the heart
Amen.
For missions.
That's right.
And there's a special guest on the program today that in just a moment you're going to introduce.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah, sure am.
But before we do our introductions, we want to thank you for your prayers and financial support of this network as we continue going and growing, getting ready for the coming of the Lord. Yeah. Don't turn away, because you're going to be inspired, challenged, and then you're also going to find ways in which you can participate in carrying the ministry that we're going to be introducing to you today forward. But thank you for all that you do for 3ABN. Honey, I'm going to let you introduce the people that are with us today.
Wow. First of all, we have Jessie. Oh, your last
Guillaume.
name. Guillaume.
Yes.
She's the president and founder of Hope Ministry Project Incorporated. Welcome, Jessie.
Thank you.
Next, we have Courtney Rivas. She's a community liaison. Welcome. And last, should I say least? No. But not least, my brother, Clifford Marr, from Miramar, Florida.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's so good to have him here today.
Yeah,
And,
I'm excited.
He has been your brother all your life.
Yeah, and still is, right?
You cannot cancel that moment. Cliff is a wonderful brother-in-law. Mm-hmm. We practically grew up together. Yeah, actually, for most of my adult life, I've known him as my brother-in-law, and kind of like a brother to me.
Brother.
And we're glad to have him. And also Jessie and Courtney. But just briefly, give us an overview. Tell us about where you're from, a little bit about your personal life outside of the ministry, just a kind of brief interview.
My name is Jessie Guillaume, as you said, and I am a teacher assistant. I work for the school board, and I live in Florida, and I'm from Haiti.
Okay.
From Haiti. Yes. Do you have any children?
Yes, I don't have any children. I've been married for 25 years. So, and, my other side is Jean Guillaume. So.
Okay, well, good to have you here. And Courtney Rivas says community liaison, but tell us what you do outside of that.
Yes, indeed. Thank you again for having us here today. I work in sales for an insurance company, and I live in Weston, Florida, and I have a daughter who's 12, who I'm very proud of.
Okay. And Cliff, I know what you do, but the people that are watching and listening to the program don't know what you do, so I'll give you a chance to introduce yourself and your family.
Okay. Of course, my name is Cliff Marr, and I'm from Miramar, Florida. And what I do for a living is I'm a project manager for Miami-Dade Aviation Department. And I am married with a wonderful wife and a beautiful daughter.
Your wife is from Trinidad.
And my wife is from Trinidad, yes, she is. Mm-hmm. And we're all here to, basically promote our Hope Ministries.
Okay.
So we wanted to share with the 3ABN family.
And so on that note, we're going to dive right in, because Hope Ministry Project Incorporated is a ministry that we're talking about today. And honey, we've talked off the set about this ministry.
Oh, what a ministry.
And there's so many things that we're going to share today in the time that we do have. Yeah. But I want you to pay particular attention, because we're also going to challenge you in ways that you can not only pray for the ministry, but also financially support it. Mm-hmm. Because ministry is just that. You may not be able to go to where this ministry is going to be going and has gone, but you can make a big, major difference by your financial support. I'm going to begin with Jessie. Jessie, we smile together. I think were we on a cruise together with Jessie?
Yeah, we were.
Yeah, we were on a cruise together with Jessie. Jessie's a wonderful, lighthearted person, but were you born in Haiti, am I
Yes,
correct?
I was born in Haiti, and I came here, I was 16 years old. But when it come down to for the Hope Ministry Project Inc., we start in 2004 feeding the homeless on the street of Miami. And we find out that there was need for a house to help people to get back on their feet. That's when in 2005 we become a non-for-profit organization.
Okay.
And the Hope stand for helping oppressed people everywhere.
Oh, say that one more time. Helping
Helping oppressed people everywhere.
Okay.
Oh, that's what hope means.
So it's more of an acronym rather than just a word. Okay.
Yes. And so we've been very successful in helping the homeless in Miami. We have a triplex, and then we have people coming from, we have different people from our organization, from our church, who go into hard times to come and live up to a year for free.
Wow.
So that's what we do for the Hope Ministry Project Inc. And also we go to Miami every Thanksgiving, Easter. We pick up the homeless randomly, take them to the Hope House Miami, and fellowship with them and give them a hot lunch meal. And then in Christmas Day, we always go at the Broward Outreach Center where we do the washing feet. And everybody receive a pair of new sneakers and socks. And every gift to the residents. And also we provide meal for all the residents at the Broward Outreach Center. Not only that, but also we have Bible study twice a week at the World Outreach Center. Saturday evening, 6 to 7, and Sunday, 9 to 10. So it's been a very powerful ministry because we have people who have been baptized from that ministry, from the shelter ministry. And we have other churches that are involved in also going to give Bible study. So our Hope Ministry is more out showing to people the love of God by doing service and meet their needs. That's what we are.
Okay.
It's beautiful.
Wow, it's wonderful.
So the ministry started in Florida.
It started in Florida in 2005, and I think the first time we had food left over, and we went to feed the people in Broward.
In Broward,
In Broward. And that's why we found out there was a need for the people, for the Hope Ministry feed the forgotten, the worst one. Those who cannot go on the shelter, those who are on the street that people look down on them like they are nobody. And that's where our love, our compassion goes the most. To love the unloved, to give to those who cannot give us back, and to help those who cannot help us back.
Wow.
So that's what it is.
But this ministry also extends to where you were born. And that's what we're going to be highlighting today.
Yes.
The Haiti Project. And tell us how that came about.
You know, it's always been in my heart I give back to my country. So I give back to America. I thank God for being here in America. So that's why we have the Hope Ministry Project and the Hope House Miami. But also, it was always in my heart to do something for the orphans in Haiti. But it was not visible until now. So we had a board member that was living close to the orphanage and worship at the church, and he came to let us know about the children that didn't have no food to eat, and then what was happening. So that's all we came into. We moved into action, and I think that you can step in if you want.
Yes.
So and then that dream, that passion was somewhere in my heart, hidden, but God knew exactly when to bring it out. So it was like we jumped on the opportunity, you know, to do that. When we went to Haiti, it was a life-changing, because those children who never knew love, who never had people to care for them, and they give us so much love.
Wow.
So it's just amazing. So our team, we put ourselves on the line to help these children, never to let them go anymore.
Right.
Cliff wants to say something.
Cliff.
I was just second what Jessie is saying, and that is, when we went to Haiti, this is my first time going, it was such a powerful mission trip And to be honest with you, how I got into this is because Jessie came to me and asked me for assistance, asked me for help. And from time to time, we've gone down to feed the homeless in Miami. But this mission was, or this trip was, it was life-changing.
Wow.
And to be honest with you, when I talked to Angie about when you and Angie went to India as far as your mission trip, she also told me, beforehand how life-changing a mission trip can be. And this, and she was absolutely right. This was a life-changing trip if I ever seen one. And as we go on, we will begin to unfold some of the activities or some of the changes that has been taking place. Glory to God for that.
Amen. Before we go to the first video that introduces the ministry, I want to give Courtney an opportunity, because you're community liaison. Explain to us what that is.
I work with different members of the community, try and bring in additional folks to give them opportunities to volunteer. Obviously, it's an honor to be able to do God's work. And so part of the benefit of Hope Ministry, besides that we feel that we're helping folks in need, as Jessie eloquently shared with us, but we also give volunteer opportunities to other folks as well to share those blessings. And so part of my work as community liaison is to bring in different folks, many of them Adventist, many Christians, some non-Adventist as well, because the work that needs to be done requires many of us. And so we're looking to expand our reach beyond the wonderful support that we have from the Plantation Seventh-day Adventist Church. But again, much work to be done, and we want to expand the folks that are available to help with that.
That's wonderful. What I'd like to do, honey, is there's a video roll that we showed a kind of an introduction video roll to this particular trip that was taken in Haiti. We're going to go to that right now, and then we're going to come back and talk about what we've seen and then continue to build on that.
It's a beautiful country, beautiful people.
It's a natural, beautiful place. We're in the Caribbean. We have crystal clear blue waters, the wonderful, beautiful mountains.
The beauty that is unparalleled. The mountains, the ocean.
Going over Haiti and looking at the mountains and then seeing what looked like a bunch of trees have fallen over. But then as we got closer and closer, I realized that these were homes. And these were people that were living in what looked like just torn down forest. And my heart began to break even before I landed.
I've seen poor people. I've seen, I've been to Jamaica, and I've seen, little places that are, section that's poor, and these people don't have anything. But at the magnitudes of this, I couldn't put a finger. I really couldn't. You couldn't sum it up in words. It's just heartbreaking.
A lot of poverty, a lot of crime, a lot of hardship here. The orphanage here was constructed about 18 years ago. It's a Seventh-day Adventist group, and there's a church here on property as well, along with the orphanage with about 22 children. The church that helped to build it were not able to continue to support it, and so when we became aware of it, they were really in a place of need, just barely getting by.
Little things that we have, our kids really take so many things for granted. The love that they gave us, just first meeting makes your eyes well.
Young man Henderson's got to be 12 years old. And immediately, first time out of the van, he made a beeline right for me. And he said, in his best English, "What's your name?" And I said, "Akeem." He said, "I am Henderson." I said, "Well, hey, Henderson." And so over the couple of days, we just kind of talked to one another as best we could, played basketball with him. So yesterday, I walk up and he's like, "Hey, are you going to be my dad?"
So when I toured here on the first day, And then I went back to my hotel. I just remembered it's so hard to sleep on a comfy bed when the children are sleeping on cots and they shower with a hose, and it's just very hard.
If anyone were to have the opportunity to come here, we would love them to join us sometime, but they will be appalled by the need. We knew it was going to be difficult. We knew that the orphanage had been run down. We did not really understand the way the physical facility has deteriorated. The kids have been very well cared for, praise God. And again, the team that's been doing that they're saints. The kids are clean. They are fed as well as they can, given the food that is available to them. They are happy. They do not have food insecurity issues. When we share food, the older kids give it to all the younger kids first, which is wonderful. It says to us that the people here really love them and really cared for them. And so we're thankful for those people, but we definitely could use help, again, of any type. But I would encourage folks to pray about it, to look into their hearts, and to count their blessings, because the way people are living here, again, we would find completely unacceptable at home.
Wow, if that hasn't impacted you as it has us, then you probably didn't see it. But what an amazing, as we've traveled around, honey, when you go to places like India and parts of South America, different parts of the world, you begin to think, well, it can't be that bad other places. But then you look at video and pictures like this and you realize.
It's sad. And Haiti had an earthquake. Oh, I forgot what year. It was on my birthday, January 12th.
2010.
In 2010. And what devastation. And Courtney, you have a daughter.
Yes.
And your daughter celebrated her birthday in Haiti.
She did. It was her birthday when we were there for our trip, and that was her in the video, and she wanted very much to celebrate her birthday with the orphans. She wanted to bring cake in and share that celebration with her. So her party was not thrown here in the States in Miami, it was thrown in Haiti. And yes, it was a really fun thing to get to do there.
Very selfless.
Yes.
And how old is she?
She is 12.
Look at that.
Wow. What's nice about allowing children at that age to get involved in missions is that when they come back home, they have a whole lot less to complain about.
Yes.
And we've had that experience when we were in Africa. A teenager had gone to mission trips every year, and one year the family took her to Disney World, and she said, the summer I hated the most is when I was at Disney World. He said, why? She said, I need to be in Africa doing something for people.
Wow.
And that's what HOPE is doing. Give me the acronym again. Helping oppressed people
everywhere.
Everywhere.
That is, so it's not just if the Lord opens doors for you to go other places, you go there too, but Haiti has a special place in your heart.
How did you get that home in Haiti?
Oh, like she said, Courtney said, it was built in 2000, and about 7 years ago, they ran out of food. This place cost about $500,000 to build. That's why I told you earlier, it would be impossible for me to have an orphanage in Haiti because with that kind of money, the land. But God made it possible, so money that was coming to that orphanage stopped. They didn't have any more help. So now this is how we came about to know about it, and then we step in by faith. Because this is by faith we step in. And so it's a big place, it's really big, and so there was no way, if it was not God, to be able to have this property. This is why there you can see the footstep of God in there.
Right.
And so because money stopped coming, that's why we were able to take over and then to take care of the management for the children.
How many children?
We have 23 children and 5 staff.
5 staff?
Yeah, people working. Yes.
As Jessie said, it was really a wonderful project when it was built, over $500,000 to build. They had everything they needed. They had a commercial bakery to raise funds, to be self-supporting. It was very, very well done. The problem was, over time, as they lost their funding, they had to begin to sell off equipment. So they had solar panels, they had to sell those for food. The bakery items, when we became involved, they didn't have utensils or plates. Last year we had to send down plates. So they went from being well-staffed, well-funded, to truly barely subsisting when we became involved. So it was wonderfully done, but a shame that the support, the church supporting them was not able to continue. And so when we came in, we did not actually have the funds prepared to be able to help. But as Jessie said, we had to step out in faith because the need was so great, you could not turn away.
Wow. You know what's amazing, Cliff?
But also we have to keep in mind that this orphanage is located on Adventist property. There's an Adventist church on that property. But there was another church running the orphanage. And unfortunately, things didn't work out there too well. So they end up, one thing led to another, and they end up, I believe, selling the batteries to get to buy food. The batteries for the electricity, which of course is the solar panels. And so they end up selling those to buy food, which means they had no electricity. So Jessie brought it to all of our attention, and we, through God's help, stepped in and tried to and help in any way we can.
You know, the amazing thing about it is the building was there. And if you had to say, well, let's build a building in Haiti, how much? $500,000. You would say, hey, we're basic people here, we're not doing that. But that shows you how the Lord provides. And so now, the church is not far away. Now you have this building. So as you pointed out, Courtney, the building is still there. The framework is good. It's a good structure. Now it has to be refurbished, brought back up to standards. Talk about some of the conditions, because you mentioned they had to sell the panels, then they sell the batteries, then they had to sell some of the appliances, and all this was just to eat. And that shouldn't be the thing. And we're going to talk about in a moment how to bring that back up, because we talk about the amount of meals they used to have compared to now. But let's talk about some of those things, those needs that are there, and what are some of the things you see that are a need in that building?
Absolutely, John. As we shared in the video, when we arrived, there was no electricity. There was no running water. Occasionally, once or twice a month when there was power, they would pump water out of their well, hold it in a storage facility that was not covered, and then bathe with a hose. So there were bathrooms and showers. They were not functional. You can see that the property was dilapidated. You know, it needed to be painted. There were some security issues that we needed to resolve. Food, as we already shared, was a real problem. That the kids were eating poor quality canned fish, not enough fresh vegetables, those types of things, because they were truly living hand to mouth. Everything of value had been sold when we came, including utensils. They don't own the bowls that they were preparing the food in. There's no refrigeration since there's no electricity. So every meal for roughly 30 people every day is prepared. Someone goes out and purchases the food and prepares only that meal. There's no ability to cook ahead or plan or purchase food in bulk or store food. So just truly barely getting by when we arrived.
Wow, and you think about Haiti is not that far away.
No.
When you think about the population of people that have means, we're not talking about 15,000 miles away or 11,000 miles away. We're talking right here in the Caribbean, within the belt of a lot of provision. But it's just like it's just been overlooked. And Haiti's not a new place. It's gone through quite a bit of challenges. You know, the earthquakes, poverty, government structure, all these types of things. But the Lord has given you an opportunity to step in there.
Also in Haiti, when you are poor, you poor forever. And then when you are wealthy, you're wealthy forever. There is no middle ground. And in Haiti, I've been visiting for a long time. My husband used to live there. I always like to help the children because they are the ones suffering. They didn't ask to be born, and somebody brought them into life. They need to have the very basic of living.
Amen.
So when we went there, there was none of that. No running water, like she said. There was no electricity. How come you're going to have a child sleeping in the dark, going to school, wake up in the dark again? This is very basic. No running water. The water is right there making mosquitoes. So, you know, no drinking water. What kind of life is this?
Wow.
We had, our heart was broken.
Of course.
And we had to prioritize to give them the very basic. Food was scarce. We had to give them, make plans to have them good food for them. It was unbelievable. But like we said, we moved into that by faith. And that's what is hard with Haiti. They don't have a system to help the poor. Everybody's about their own. So I think that's the calling for you and I to do that, to bring love to these people, compassion, and give them a reason to live.
That's right.
That's the work of us to do.
Now, how do you feed them spiritually?
They have a church in property, and they have a lady, they call it, they have a lady on property that's sturdy, do Bible study with them.
Oh, good.
So as a matter of fact, on our upcoming trip, we're going to have baptism with these children. And to show you how powerful it is when you try to help. Because of we provide the solar panels, they have electricity, and they have water, they are able to reach the community.
So they have the solar panels now?
They have the solar panels.
Wonderful.
You know, and they have the
batteries.
The batteries.
Yes.
And then what happened is that they were able to bring water to a rose to the community. So now we're reaching out the community by giving them drinking water. That is so powerful. This is the very basic that God teaches us to do. By showing love, by meeting the people's needs, then the gospel will be preached.
You know, Matthew 28 says, Matthew 25, when did you see a stranger and take him in, or naked, or clothe them? Or when did you see the sick and in prison and come to them? Or those who are thirsty and feed, and those who needed water and you gave them water. This is that's the examination at the return of Christ. When did you see? And as much as you've done it to the least of these, you've done it to me. I want to walk through some of these pictures and explain to us what we're watching, what we're seeing here.
Okay.
Talk about this picture.
Well, this picture, as I'm walking through the orphanage, I took a look and I turned around and I saw these two children. And I immediately snapped that picture just because they were just there. And they just looked so in need of attention and love. As a matter of fact, one of them, it was so bad, they had no Pampers.
Oh, what?
No Pampers.
No Pampers.
No Pampers.
What's the age?
They were not potty trained, but at least that one wasn't.
Of 2.
They were about 2 years old at that time, yes.
Oh, wow.
And no parents.
No. As a matter of fact, there was one incident where I was told when I was there, one of the ladies was sitting in a car in traffic, and this woman came up to her and just gave her this baby as she's sitting in traffic and said, I cannot take care of her anymore, but because you're in a vehicle, you're in a car, I believe you can give her a better life than I can, and left. And so that was heartbreaking when you really look at that. And these are just some of the examples of some of the stories that are there.
And what else do we have as far as photos are concerned?
What is that?
Well, this was what we saw as far as the pipes, no running water, as we mentioned earlier. And we saw there were toilets that had no toilet seats, shower curtains with no shower, we had showers with no shower curtains. So we just saw dilapidated conditions. We saw where it was just really nothing was really being there was no function to anything.
And I would add that what was, besides seeing the conditions they were living in and how difficult that is, what was hard is you could see the bones of the project and that it had been an amazing project. Yes. And these children have lived there as the property grows into disrepair, that it's their hope fading, that you see where you live, your home, your meals get smaller, more worn down. You see your own circumstances changing in the course of even some of their very short lives, and that was heartbreaking to see as well. And so when we arrived and their faces are joyful and loving, and as Jessie said, the love is unbelievable given their life. That they want to hug you, they want to hold your hand, they want to walk around with you. It was a very moving experience, both from an understanding of the circumstances they were living in, and then conversely, the love that was spilling out of them was really amazing to see.
Wow, let's see another picture, I think, for this. What do we have here?
This was one of the batteries that was installed on the second missionary trip that I believe Jessie went back. We went on the first mission trip, and we took an assessment for our church, Plantation Seventh-day Adventist Church, and through some of their donations, we were able to get batteries installed, and we were able to get the solar panels installed, and we were able to get the electricity up and running on the second trip. So that's what you saw there was just one of the individuals that was installing the batteries.
Now, I know you like your daughter to get involved in mission trips. Are you going to take Ashley down?
I'm hoping to take Ashley down. There's no question, because she is she wants to go. So I'm hoping we can do that in the near future.
You know what I want to do is show the second video, because this is really important.
Yes.
Let's look at the second video that was pertaining to this particular trip that you all were on, and then we'll come back for more commentary.
Okay.
The greatest need right now is power, because power is going to help them do many things. Power will allow them to refrigerate food, cook food, probably sell food that they can make. It's going to allow them to get water flowing, evenly and freely throughout the place.
We need for this orphanage to be somewhat self-sufficient. With the solar, it provides the electricity needed for instance, for the bakery, for the oven, for the just for the lighting. We need to have ceiling fans that cool everything down. We need light switches. We need so much for this orphanage. It is unbelievable, the need.
First and foremost, prayer. Prayer for the children here, for the people who have not abandoned them and who stayed here to continue to help them despite the fact that their funding was cut off. Second, we can use all kinds of help. Obviously, monetary donations are at the top because a lot of things are best done in country. A lot of things here are better to be purchased as opposed to us shipping them from the States. We need to start with security so that any other improvements we do make here are protected. Food is next for the children. Healthier meals, appropriate utensils, appropriate kitchen. Then probably next would be water, solving some of their water issues, plumbing, and also solar panels so that they can have electricity. Right now, there's not electricity here.
Even if the donations come in and we throw tons of resources and money at this stuff, if we don't have boots on the ground here to make sure that this stuff goes where it's supposed to go, and that the direction that we believe and the values that we have are enacted, we can get batteries, but they'll be gone when the need arises. And so we've looked at hiring a managing director here so that we can have accountability for all of the efforts that are taking place. I think that is so needed, because everything else, all of the other things that are going to come in, will now go through the accountability of that manager. And so I was thankful to be able to interview and really get a sense of the heart of the managing director here, and know that he's aimed at first. And the first thing he said was, I love the kids, right? And he has a passion for that. So that's the first thing, making sure you've got someone in place that's going to be able to manage what we're going to be committing to as a church. But in terms of physical needs, it is absolutely the basics. It's get electricity in here, get potable water, address security, make sure they have a place to experience God.
This is groundbreaking. We're not here by chance. This is destiny. We have to do something. It's good to sit in your pews and say, yeah, I served today. But to actually get out and do something, that's where God is. Because before coming here, and this is my first time coming to Haiti, before coming here, I didn't know what to think. I mean, I have a lot of friends at home that are Haitian, and they tell stories, but their stories cannot match what I've seen since I've been here.
What a powerful video, huh?
Yeah, I'm ready to go to Haiti. I'm ready to go help. Aren't you? I'm ready.
I mean, can you, this is, I mean, we have so much here in America. We personally have so much here in America that, let me ask a question, and we're going to just, before we go to the questions, we're going to just introduce our new panelists.
Yeah.
Saada Aboubaker. Good to have you, Saada. Yes, yes.
Tell us about yourself real briefly.
I live in Fort Lauderdale. I'm in commercial real estate, and I also have a daughter who's 9, Zaina.
Oh.
Okay.
Has she gone to Haiti?
She was on the second trip with us.
Wow.
Yes.
And she replaced your brother.
Yeah.
You know,
Which is fine with me.
Cliff is not here any longer. But yeah, I tell you.
What a mission. Now, who is taking care of all these children? Who's directing them there in Haiti?
For Haiti, it is important to have someone that is showing transparency and who have the love and passion for these children. So we are blessed to have St. Louis Sifren is a new director of the orphanage. The love from that man to the children is unbelievable. It's a godsend. Because you cannot have an orphanage in Haiti without showing transparency. That someone is there to look after the children. But not only is there to work, but it's not really the reason, is this passion for the children. So when we went before the trip before, God provided us with him. And this is a blessing to the Hope Ministry Project, Inc. That orphanage could not be working and functioning without that man, the director.
This is true. We very much feel that God placed him in our path at that time. He had experience with another Adventist orphanage, as Jessie said, has an unbelievable love for the children and is completely trustworthy, provides documentation for any funds that are provided, provides a real comfort level for us about that this is the path that God has for us, because Lewis was placed at this spot, at this moment in time.
Wow.
Children are so comfortable with him, and I mean, it's someone that they can go to, it's someone that they can talk to and trust, which was a big thing for us. And he definitely provides that security that they have lacked for so long. Just a blessing.
When you were invited to go, what was your, how did it change you? How did it impact your life?
Well, that was my first mission trip. So I've never had an experience like that before. I've done the washing of the feet with the group before, and we've done, we've fed the homeless, but nothing of this magnitude. So I would always, say that I would watch programs like this at home, and it tugs at the heart a little bit.
Yes.
And you feel bad, you're compassionate, but then that's kind of sometimes where it stops. And so I feel like God moved me to this trip, and it was a life-changing experience that, I mean, you really do have to experience to understand just how much it's how inspiring it is. So going there, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what it would look like. And just when the van pulled up and those kids ran out at us, just embracing us, taking the backpacks off of our back and putting it down. I mean, that's just a feeling that I'll never forget. And one of the children said, people come and they say that they're going to be back and they're going to help us, and they tell us all of these great ideas, and then they never show up.
Oh.
So we all knew at that moment that we were going to be the ones to show up.
That's right.
There was a particular story that you shared with us briefly. Talk about the blind man.
His name is Jean Le. He's 21. He's been in the orphanage since he was a small boy. He's blind, but he wasn't born blind. As we began to speak with him, he explained to us that he had an issue with his eye. They weren't sure exactly what it was. And then around the age of 5, he woke up completely blind and everything was dark. So just speaking with him a little bit more and getting to know his story, he said that someone came in, a group came in to help out and just kind of said that they would be back to perform some sort of surgery, or that there was something that they could do to help him to regain his sight. And they never, they never came back. So, I mean, just the hope he felt, right, with the possibility of being able to see again, was just ripped away.
How sad.
In other words, he was saying to you, please don't do the same thing to me.
Yeah.
That's a sad reality, because you think about that, and there's so many of us, sometimes we sit down and we watch a program and we kind of become hardened to it, inoculated, and we see the children in their poverty and we say, they're just trying to raise funds to use it for themselves. And then we hear about this ministry and we know that that's not the case. No. There are people on the other side of our comfort that are going to go to bed tonight and wonder, how many mosquito bites am I going to have when I wake up in the morning? Is there going to be warm water for me? Am I going to get to school? Am I going to have a meal? Because I want you to talk about that. You talked about in the past when you had the funding, and what I like about your ministry, we're going to show a video in a moment, but what I like about your ministry is you just want to provide every need that they have. And I think Courtney mentioned the budget just kept shrinking and shrinking and shrinking and shrinking, because how much does it take per month, you say, average, to handle this?
Average is about $5,000 a month.
Okay.
Wow.
And actually we're living on $2,000 a month, which is, instead of them having 3 meals a day, we are down now to 2 meals a day.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And it's just heartbreaking, because but the 2 meals a day, and then so many needs. Also, we have children. We have aging group that is 18. Like Courtney said, we have those kids. They all only what they know is the orphanage.
Have they been there all their lives?
All their lives, and now what happened? They're aging out, and they don't have a trade. Are you going to let them go?
That's right. They need a
without
trade.
having a skill. That's very important, because they need to have a trade to be able to be independent. You cannot, so otherwise they will stay in the orphanage forever.
That's right.
So that's one of the needs that we have also, for them to have.
Before you go past that point, I want to talk about the trade here and give one of the other ladies a chance. How will you get them ready for this trade? What is the vision for that?
I think initially what we'd like to do and what our push is next is we need to bring a small business into the orphanage to help them become more self-supporting. As they become more self-supporting, we can bring in some of these programs that Jessie said to enable these children and young adults to live independently on our own. So part of what we're trying to do is raise funds so that we can bring in a small business. As Jessie said, we really maxed out all of our funds, providing some of the essential needs. The food is an ongoing cost, but we provided electricity, we fixed the plumbing, the children have health care, tuition has been paid for this year, and now we're about to the end of our budget, and the food is ongoing, obviously. So I think the thing that we need most is to establish that small business so that they can begin to offset some of their costs. But I also just want to add one thing to what Saada said, which is that many of us volunteer, periods of time for volunteer work, right? I'm going to do this I'm going to feed the homeless on the street in Miami for 3 hours on a Sabbath afternoon. We came back from this going, there is no one else. If we do not show up to feed these children, there is no one. There is not a social system, as Jess said. Other people go and do not continue to help. So the 15 of us that went down came back with a wonderful blessing of having spent time with these children, but a terrible burden. I lay awake in bed at night and think, how are we going to feed these children? We have maxed out the budget from our not-for-profit because, again, we've stepped out. But it is truly, if we do not raise funds to do the things we need to do, these children will not have food, and I am not exaggerating when I say that.
Wow.
And I think that the turning point from that first trip was when we all, I think when we got there and we saw the need and we saw their living condition, we immediately knew that we had to step in and get involved. But I think the turning point was when we all came home from the trip and the sun went down that Sabbath, and we realized that those kids would be at home in the dark.
Oh, no.
Wow.
And to think of those kids that showed us so much love would be without light that night and would be spending the night in the dark, night after night, was what really, at that point, just, everyone knew there was no turning
Something
back.
has to be done.
Yeah.
Wow. Now,
Honey-
you were just there in Haiti, Jessie.
Yes, I just was there for the school supply, I believe, and the notebook and the backpack for them. But it's just amazing the welcoming they give us. To me, this is all that is worth it.
Yeah.
When you see the life of these children being transformed, you know, they have a meal, they dress, you know, and they're so grateful. You know, my husband said, I see why you and Saada and your whole group love these children, because they give so much love. So much love. It's just unbelievable. And I will move Martin for these children. I just doesn't want them to be left alone.
Wow. You know, I want to go to the video right now in the interest of informing you, and when we come back, we'll segue to the rest of our program.
Moi, c'est Josna Augustin.
Quel âge vous gagnez?
10 ans. Moi, le Pierre Wilmingford. Moi, j'ai 12 ans.
Non, moi, c'est Jadley.
Et quel âge vous gagnez?
L'âge, moi, c'est 18 ans. Moi, elle est Widlin Pompelus.
Widlin Pompelus, ok.
Yeah.
Et quel âge vous gagnez?
18 ans.
18 ans. Est-ce que vous gagnez un plus bon ami?
Et moi-même, c'est Jessie.
Oh, plus bon ami, c'est Jésus. Nice.
Pour moi-même, c'est un plaisir pour moi.
Ok.
Je suis content, ouais, nous. Nous mettons la joie dans le cœur parce que nous aidons, nous faisons des bagages pour nous. C'est un plaisir pour nous.
Est-ce que vous connaissez combien d'années que vous avez?
Moi-même, moi, j'ai gagné 5 ans depuis moi avec. C'est pour l'instrument, moi, pense que moi jouer 4, mais ça, moi, puis attaché avec la c'est piano.
Est-ce que tu as voulu recevoir un caméra?
Oui. On fait photo. Photo, c'est mieux.
Yeah. Qui ça vous voulez faire avec vous?
On peut ingénieur.
Quel type d'ingénieur? Qui ça vous pouvez faire pour un ingénieur?
Tracer caille.
Hein?
Tracer caille.
Tracer caille? All right. So, là, grandi, vous pouvez tracer une belle caille ici pour vous-même?
Pour tout le monde.
Pour tout le monde? All right.
Je n'ai pas gagné l'argent pour acheter un livre pour moi.
Est-ce que c'est nous toutes qui sont dans la même situation?
Yeah.
You know, I love my children. They are my world. And I can't think of being a better person outside of being a better parent for them. Knowing that I'm training them up to be a little boy who loves God, a little girl who loves God and are protected, fed, clothed, loved. And then I come here and I see these children that are really in need of the basics. And my heart breaks. And really one of the things that touched me the most was just the vulnerability.
The time that we spent here with these kids, you know, talking to them, playing with them, touching them, and cutting their nails and all of those things, that's awesome. You know, it's a wonderful experience, but we can't be here every day. But when we have sponsorships and we make that a solid program where the people back home sponsoring these kids can send letters, can send pictures, and then vice versa, I think that's going to do a lot for this orphanage. And then when we get some consistent program going here, I think it can spill over into other communities.
We want to be the orphanage that people think of, that they choose. We want to have a high level of expectation when it comes to cleanliness, food, education, Christianity. There's no reason we can't do that here. We want this orphanage to be a beacon in the community, an outreach opportunity. There's a church on site here as well. We want this to be the same standard that we would provide to our children in the States, but we will need lots of help to do that.
Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary, Lord, for you. Lord, prepare me to be a... That's it. Well, you keep taking it up. I'm done.
I know you're watching the program and you're saying, how can I help? What difference can I make? How can I put my funds where lives are being transformed? We want you to take note of what you saw today. And when you go to bed tonight, as was pointed out on the program, and you're in the comfort of your bed, there's somebody without lights, without food, without those needs. And the Lord is calling on you to reach deep down and change your life. And here is the information that you need to become involved.
The Hope Ministry Project team provide food for over 200 people each week, along with clothing, sleeping bags, and toiletries. If you would like to support this ministry, please visit their website, hopehousemiami.org. That's hopehousemiami.org. You may also call them at 954-468-0532 or send your donations to Hope Ministry Project, 1528 Northeast 135th Street, Miami, Florida, 33161.
Well, our time comes and goes so quickly, but before you leave, honey, that program is a...
Oh, it touched my heart.
Yeah, and we're not going to let it just touch our heart. We're going to make a difference by joining with Hope Ministry Project, helping oppressed people everywhere. And just before I thank the guests, you know, there are other needs. We talked about some of the orphanages that some of the children raised there. They're getting too old now to stay there, and they need a business. So, as was pointed out by Courtney early in the program, they want to bring a small business down. If you are part of a business that you believe can be a benefit there in Haiti, contact us. Contact them by the information that you received. And also, they want to increase their meals from 2 to 3 meals a day. I mean, we're blessed by that in America here. And then a trade school to help equip the children and all those who are working there. And it's going to be a blessing not only now but in eternity. Thank you so much, Jessie, for being here.
Yes.
Jessie, Guillaume,
yes.
Thank you for being here.
And your vision.
And your vision that God is blessing so many people. Courtney, thank you so much.
It's our pleasure.
For sharing with us as you have today. And Saada Aboubaker.
I have to smile every time you say it.
Yeah, I'm kind of saying it gingerly. As I don't want to mess up your name. And thank you, Brother Cliff. I know he's such a part of the program, but...
yeah, it touched his heart.
If we could say anything to those of you who are watching, there's a text in Matthew 25:40, and remember this. And the King will say to those, inasmuch as you did it to the least of these, you've done it unto me. Here at 3ABN, we believe in transforming lives, and we thank you for taking the time to tune in today. Until we see you again, may the Lord touch your heart to make a difference in somebody else's and also give them the hope that they need. God bless you.